Acting Minister in charge of Muslim Affairs Faishal Ibrahim has sharply criticized comments made by the Facebook page Critical Spectator, saying they minimize the suffering of Palestinians and risk fueling division in Singapore's multicultural society. The senior Minister of State issued his statement on 23rd May, the same day he was sworn in as a cabinet member. He expressed deep concern over the remarks made by Critical Spectator, which is run by Polish national Michael Petrius. The post, published on 23rd May, was a response to a Facebook statement by former President Halima Yaqub. In it, Halima had described Israel's blockade of Gaza as a humanitarian catastrophe and warned that silence in the face of such actions amounted to complicity. Petrius, commenting via Critical Spectator, responded by accusing Halima of selective outrage, claiming she had failed to comment on crises in Sudan, Yemen, Libya, or Myanmar. He went as far as to say Halima was complicit in the starvation of 3 million children in Sudan, due to her silence on those matters. Associate Professor Faishal strongly defended Halima's position and character, calling her a deeply respected national figure, whose concerns reflected the compassion and moral courage of many Singaporeans. While it is valid to draw attention to suffering in other parts of the world, we should reject any statement that minimizes the suffering of Palestinians, he stated. He also stressed the importance of maintaining unity in Singapore, warning that divisive rhetoric, whether from local or foreign sources, must not be allowed to undermine the mutual respect in society. In times like these, we need more understanding, not division, he wrote. We must never allow dismissive or divisive rhetoric to erode the mutual respect and unity we have worked so hard to build. Professor Faishal reiterated that the Singapore government has consistently advocated for a humanitarian ceasefire, protection of civilian lives, and support for the Palestinian people's right to a homeland. He further noted that many in Singapore's Muslim community and across other communities feel deeply about the ongoing crisis in Gaza and continue to express solidarity with those affected. In the original post by Halima, she had said, "Keeping quiet makes us complicit in the violations of international humanitarian laws and encourages similar aggressions elsewhere. Our world is all the poorer for it." Petrius took issue with the idea of complicity by silence, arguing that Halima had not made similar statements about other humanitarian crises. He accused her and global media outlets of prioritizing Palestinian suffering over other global tragedies, claiming, "Out of all of the victims of wars and disasters in this world, they deserve the least of our attention, support, or even talk." Petrius also contended that the suffering in Gaza was self-inflicted, blaming Palestinian support for Hamas as the root of the crisis. He contrasted this with crises in countries like Sudan and Yemen, where he argued the victims were more clearly innocent. In the aftermath of his statement, many Facebook users voiced strong support for Professor Faishal, praising his clarity and calling for action. One commenter wrote, "Thank you for your heartfelt and principled stance. We must stand together in humanity, not apart in hostility." Another added, "Finally, a voice we've been waiting for. Your voice brings hope and dignity to those suffering." Several users called for Critical Spectator to be investigated or removed from Singapore's digital sphere, accusing it of foreign interference. Comments such as "Time for people to report Critical Spectator to the police" and "Ban Critical Spectator. It is foreign interference" were widely echoed. One user remarked that Petrius should not be allowed to attack a former president in this manner, while others questioned why authorities had yet to take action against the page, despite what they viewed as repeated provocations. A considerable number of comments suggested invoking Singapore's Foreign Interference Countermeasures Act, asking the government to classify Critical Spectator as a foreign entity. While some commenters expressed broader geopolitical concerns, many focused on the perceived imbalance in Petrius' statements. One individual stated, "Whataboutism is a logical fallacy. Expressing concern for Gaza does not mean ignoring Sudan, Yemen, or Myanmar." The reaction also included calls for the Singapore government to examine its economic and diplomatic links with Israel, questioning whether neutrality in policy aligned with moral responsibility. One commenter asked, "How much have we invested in Israel's war economy while offering humanitarian aid to Palestinians?" Other users applauded Professor Faishal's leadership. "You are truly a great leader for our Muslim community. Your firm stand is very much welcomed," read one post. Another said, "Thank you for taking a stand. I'm proud to have you as my MP." Some, however, urged the government to match words with action. "Speaking without action is nothing," one commenter noted. while another asked for parliamentary scrutiny of the matter.